Good Packer Nation post-election Wednesday morning, everybody. Well, Donald Trump is the president-elect, and it's a new day in America. And hopefully it's a new day for the Packers as well, because I think we're going to need it. But as we get on right now, just go ahead, emoji me your feelings on the election. Just let it out right now. Jump on and let me know who you are, where you're coming at me from, and I will do a little Packer Nation roll call as we get started. Catherine and DM are here with Tom. Tom says, yo, fella. Love it. Joe is here saying good morning. Good morning. Tim is here as well, and Brent, Packers Trump. Lauren is here. Aaron and Catherine Kelsey. Catherine's from Clarksville, Tennessee. All right, I'm here in Johnson City there, Catherine. Emoji me your thoughts and feelings on the election. You might as well, there's a lot. This has been the most emotionally charged election in a long time. So it can't hurt to just let those emotions out right now. Donald Trump, president-elect. Congratulations to Donald with one of these kind of an underdog story. And I went ahead and won it last night. I could not stay up. I had a crashing headache and just literally could not stay awake, even though I was extremely interested in how it was going. I had to come and catch up on it in the morning because I just couldn't make it. I don't know what the deal was. Part of it was I had not had caffeine for a couple days. So I had this, I think the headache was a caffeine headache. So, all right. Mark says, I feel like vomiting. Okay. You guys can comment your thoughts as well. I'll read a few of those out. Scotty says, let's get back to football. And I'm totally down with that. John Claddock is here. Hey, buddy, John, how you doing? Say hello to your mom and dad for me, will you? John, from his parents, friends of mine from way back from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, or Halley. Good to see you on board, buddy. All right, let's talk some Packers, guys. I need to give a huge shout out right now because we're going to do Circle the Stat. And Circle the Stat today comes to you from my buddy, James Nate. Facebook, he sent me this on Facebook, all right? Now, in honesty, I think a friend sent this stat to him. So I don't know who that was, but I'm giving a shout out to James this morning. Hey, buddy, thanks for messaging me this info. We have got some stats to talk about, and I don't know, if you weren't a Donald Trump supporter, this is not going to help your day at all. Okay, so listen to this. Here's Circle the Stat today, all right? In their past 20 games, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers are, now listen to this list, folks. A, 9-11. B, 4-5 at Lambeau Field. C, 2 wins worse than the Oakland Raiders. D, 3 wins worse than the Detroit Lions. And E, owners of the same number of 300-yard passing games as the Cleveland Browns. Guys, so yesterday at the polls, America took a strong right turn and said, we've had enough with the status quo. We are not doing it that way. And if there's one thing that's clear about the election, it's that America said we are not doing it this way anymore. We are going to give a new way a try and see what happens. I hope, and you can heart me right now if you're with me, I hope the Green Bay Packers take a right turn, and decide that whatever happens going forward, they are not going to do things the way they've been doing so far this season. We have got to make a change. Even a bad change is better than no change at all, in my opinion, right now. Atreyu says, mic drop. I hope if there's one thing, and I'm not talking about who I wanted to win the election, who I didn't want to win the election. Nobody knows who I voted for. In fact, I had someone get on today. I made a comment, got on today, and said that A, I was gay, and B, that I would have voted for Hillary. Nobody knows who I voted for. Give me a break. The only people we know that know who someone else voted for today are Donald and Eric Trump. Those are the only ones that knew what somebody else voted for. But I do hope, regardless of the election results, I do hope the Packers can go in a different direction. We have got to turn this thing around. Kathy is on here saying, "Go Lions." We may have a troll in our midst. And frankly, the Lions, you guys have some pride, no pun intended, because Packers right now, we're third in the division. However, Kathy, we beat you guys so far once. We've got the last game of the season, week 17, and that run of NFC games is going to be huge for the shakeout in the NFC North. But the Packers, regardless of what happens in December, they got to get things turned around right now. Mike Daniels said that today, and it is obvious that this Packers team is angry. The question is, are they angry or are they frustrated? If they're angry, they can find a way to get things done, and they could go out, get mad on the field, and blow some people up for a change. We've been playing this sort of intellectual kind of stuff for way too long, I think. Maurice says, "Send Kathy to her naughty corner." Nice. And DM says, frankly, they're playing better than us. And yeah, they didn't even have that great a game, but they at least were able to pull it off when they needed to. We were not able to do that. Packers need a turnaround, and they need it now. This is not getting any easier. And then the December rolls around, and we've got all those important NFC North matchups coming up. A big-time Seattle Seahawks game. Seattle pulled one out in fine fashion with Richard Sherman decking the kicker in below the belt and not getting called for it. And then the kicker comes back and can't make a kick. Man, I tell you what, some teams are charmed, and I've got to say the Seahawks are getting away with stuff that I haven't seen in many, many years. However, you make your own luck is my position in general, and the Packers have made their own luck. They can't sit here and say that, we've had this happen. We've had injuries. We've had this. No, what you've had is plenty of chances to win. We scored 14 points on a Vikings team that could only score 17 points. No excuses. We went in and we had the best rush defense in the league against a Cowboys team that had the best rushing game in the league, and we laid an egg. No excuses. And now we've seen not only the offense, but the defense starting to look like it's full of holes right now. I said this, I will be, and this, to me, if America was divided over the election, Packer Nation is divided over the problem right now. So let's do this one more time, a straw poll. Who out there thinks the problem is the players right now? These guys are not executing. We had Mark Chmura, my cousin Jeff got and said, Mark Chmura is up there. He said he's looking at these wide receivers. They are playing lazy right now. They're running poor routes, and they are breaking off routes for no reason. So who out there thinks it's the players? Give me a heart or a thumbs up right now, because Packer Nation is divided. These players are going out and they are playing like crap. Ladarius Gunter has a fantastic game against Julio Jones and then cannot get it done against the Colts. Are you kidding me? The players play the game. It's the players that execute the plays. Now, however, a lot of people in Packer Nation are up in arms about the coaching staff. So if you think the coaching staff is the problem, heart me or give me a thumbs up now. Because the coaching staff, to me, when you see players out there not executing game after game after game, and you see different players having problems in different games, at some point I have to look at this as a systemic problem, and I have to ask myself the question, can the coaches get these players motivated to play the way they're supposed to play the game? So right now, give me a heart or a thumbs up if you think the coaching staff is at fault and we need to make changes. And one thing I said a couple days ago is you can't fire players. You can fire coaches, but I was wrong about that because you can fire players. We just did this week. It was Whitehead, I think, who got out of his lane, knocked Kyler Fackrell out of the play, and then all it took was Clinton Dix to get chipped, and we gave up a touchdown on the opening kickoff. Unacceptable. So I was wrong. I do a mea culpa. Yes, you can fire players. It just doesn't happen. You won't see this happening to Jordy Nelson or Randall Cobb. That was my point. Is if you have players on your team that are under contract and are good players, they're not going anywhere. The coaches are the ones that are going to make quick exits. All right, so Alex says we have no healthy run back and a one-dimensional offense. Yes, and I think we've tried. We've tried to add Ty Montgomery and add some dimension to it. It just hasn't worked out, and we haven't stayed with the traditional run at all. Anthony says we need an O coordinator. Samantha says the coaching staff needs to be more unpredictable. But Packer Nation is divided. A lot of us want to see the coaching staff. We want to see major changes. But a lot of us are sick of watching these players play the way they have. We've seen Davante Adams in the past have horrible games. He's the one this year that has started to really come out and show that he is willing to take the next step. So, and Tom says they can be traded, not with Ted Thompson as GM. But these players are not playing well. The players, and that's why Daniels is ticked off. He's yelling at the other players on the team. He knows these guys are ticked. But at some point, you got to ask, if there's not a systemic problem, there's a culture that accepts this kind of play. Tim says, morning, sorry I'm late. It's all right. We've been just talking about the election results, but I've made an analogy, Tim. I'm going to pause for a moment, and we'll catch you up, Tim. The simple analogy we have made today is that regardless of who you voted for, the obvious fact of the election yesterday was that America wants to change direction. Whether you think good or bad, that's not the analogy. The analogy is we hope that the Packers change direction. Okay? So that's where we're at right now. We're talking about whether it has to do with the coaching staff or the players. So we're all caught up now. And it starts this weekend. We've got a tough challenge against a Titans team that believes in themselves. They were able to put up some serious points, I think 35 against the Chargers, who were able to score more than them and win the game. But we've got to travel to Tennessee. I think, frankly, this team is a better road team than they are at home right now. And I hate to say that because I am traveling in December up to Lambeau to see the Packers play the Seahawks. I want to see them get things in order and take care of business. But it starts this weekend, and it's one game at a time. I looked into, all right, guys, if you'll bear with me for a moment, because all the talk, here's my question. There's all this talk, and I've been reticent to talk about it, about just let's fire Coach McCarthy. My next question is, it's the same thing with an election. You don't want so-and-so, but look who you get when you fire somebody. Look who you get when you kick somebody out of office. It's always the question. And my question always after the fire Mike McCarthy comment is, who are you going to bring in? So I've seen all the names that you guys are going to bring. I've seen them all from Gruden on down. I've seen them. So what I did is I looked into the contract of Bill Belichick, because if there's one coach that I would want to see contract come up and the Green Bay Packers, I'm not talking about Ted Thompson, I'm talking about Murphy. I'm talking about Thompson is out, McCarthy is out. Who are you going to bring in that's going to be better? Bill Belichick's contract is shrouded in mystery, folks. It's going to be up sometime soon. We don't know what the numbers are, how much it's for. If I was going to replace Mike McCarthy, I would be and when Bill Belichick and the Patriots traveled to Lambeau, Belichick took his son, I think it was, and took him by hand and led him around this great field of ours and led him through our fantastic Hall of Fame because of the fact that this was the Green Bay Packers and this is Lambeau Field. So I am making my pitch right now that we steal Bill Belichick away from the New England Patriots and march proudly into the future with one of the best coaches. I mean, I hate him. The reason we hate him is because he wins all the time. And it doesn't matter who he has. So here's my bid for the future of the Green Bay Packers. And I guarantee not a single one of you, because I've seen all the answers, but I believe his contract, it's fuzzy, but it looks like it might be up soon. And we also have no idea what the numbers are on it. But I don't care. I don't care how much we have to pay him. Pay the man. So, Anthony says we missed getting Philbin back. Yeah, I like my idea better. So yeah, you can heart me or thumbs up if you wouldn't mind having one Bill Belichick, no longer having to hate him and what the Patriots are doing year in and year out, and bring him in. I had a nice shirt out there, and you guys can you can talk nerdy to me. I know it's mirrored because that's just what it does with the front-facing camera on Facebook, but it says talk nerdy to me. It's got I have glasses that actually matched. Yeah, Bryce is saying Kraft will pay him. Well, obviously, right? I mean, this is a pipe dream, but I say pay him more. Glenn says Favre. All right, are all those out there Favre for head coach? You can go ahead and heart me right now. Again, I always ask the question: who do you want, and if you can get him. It's like the John Gruden thing. You're not going to get him. He's happier doing what he's doing right now, having fun. Same thing with Favre. He's happier on his tractor. Why he's not for 1 minute going to consider coming back to Lambeau and going under all that stress after he made his nut already. Adam says no Favre. I'm sure that one's going to bring up some good comments. Ted 100% needs to leave, and who would be the guy to fire him? Wade. That's Mark Murphy, president. And I think there would be some board action that would have to take place. So that's a good question. We'll have to look into that, exactly how that would pan out. But folks, most of what we'll make one thing that I think we all can agree on. All right. And regardless of what the problems are, I think we can all agree that if the Packers can go ahead and turn this around and start playing good football for 4 quarters, a lot of these questions are going to go away. I would be happy to still answer and go back to these questions in the offseason after this team makes a turnaround, starts playing the way they should. Look at the personnel that's on the field. The personnel that we are putting on the field should be beating the Colts. Am I right? Am I right? Give me a little thumbs up if the personnel that we're putting on the field, regardless, should be beating the Colts, for crying out loud. The personnel that's on the field should be beating the Titans, should beat the Titans coming up. And the personnel on the field should be in every game. And yet we are looking at a team that could go 8-8. Ladies and gentlemen of Packer Nation, the Packers have made the playoffs for 7 years running. And right now, we are in a situation where we may not make the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. We are tied with none other than the New England Patriots. Just think what we could be. The only difference between us and the Patriots in that sense is that they're able to win more championships and go to more Super Bowls. We're not able to make it back to the Super Bowl right now. So we have this in front of us because we're not even going to sniff the playoffs if we don't get some things corrected. Trevor says 8-8 if we're lucky. I think 8-8 if we're lucky. I'm not sure what I think about that, because I don't think luck has anything to do with it one way or the other, good or bad. I think it's the way we play on the field. Jared is here. Good to see you, my friend, Jared. It's an interesting week. It's been a crazy week. One thing I do want to let you guys know, it looks like I will be doing an interview with one Wayne Larrivee on the show. He's got a new book coming out. I'm going to be reviewing it soon. I am going to travel to Green Bay. Going to try to catch up with Wayne before a book signing. We're going to have him on the show. And I mention this because Jared, in particular, I believe this is going to be a little nicer time frame. Well, I'm not sure. The original time we planned it and the time that it's going to be are still in flux, so I won't make that comment. But we will see what we can do about that. Wayne Larrivee, voice of the Packers, the Dagger Man. So I am looking forward to that. I hope you can look forward to that, and I'll get you more information as it comes. It's not going to be through till December because it's going to happen while I'm up there for the Seahawks game. But I am enjoying that. There's something to look forward to, and hopefully by then the Packers will have turned some things around. All right, guys, I had wanted to talk about like the power rankings, and frankly, we dropped 5 positions, and I can't disagree with that because right now we are a mediocre team. My buddy Rick got on, said we're a bad team. I would characterize us as mediocre, and I think we have the potential when we play well to do some really good things. You look at some of the plays when we execute, and they're excellent. And then you look at some of the plays when we fail, and it's just you just bang your head. This is such a bipolar team right now. Arturo says Bruce Arians from the Cardinals would be great. I hate Bruce Arians, but part of the reason part of the reason you hate a coach is because of how he coaches and the way he gets his players ready, and he has been certainly ready for the Green Bay Packers, without a doubt, the last few meetings. So you all can comment on that. Jared says, put it this way, it's currently 2:20 a.m. Thursday morning. All right. Hey, Jared, okay, so what is 4 o'clock p.m. then for you guys? Is that a good time or a bad time? Let me know, because I think that may be the time that this interview ends up landing with Wayne Larrivee, and I really want you to see that, and I want you to bring all of your Australian friends on to watch it too. Brian is making a good comment. All right, I'm going to read this comment. Brian says, they called us mediocre in 2010, and so that's a great comment, and that is and that's why I don't want this show to sound like I'm completely down. What we need is the turnaround. We need to do it now because we're putting ourselves up against a wall, record-wise, being 4-4 right now. But in the division, we are still right in the race. That is a great comment because part of the reason, remember in 2010, we were banged up with injuries as well. So I don't want everybody out there to think, and that's why I say we're a mediocre team. We're playing mediocre ball right now. We're not playing up to our potential by any stretch. But that's also why I say when you look at the personnel that we're fielding right now, Mike Daniels made this comment. The guys we've got in this locker room are a kind of team that can be special. So I love that comment, and I agree with you 100%. But the fact of the matter is we can't keep playing the way we've been playing, and I think you probably agree with that as well. We've got to get it together, play 4 quarters of good football, play the way this personnel can play. Even without a running game, I said we could beat the Colts. And look at what we did. Even Ty Montgomery, right off the bat, 30-plus yards. And then we just seem to find a way to shoot ourselves in the foot. So great comment, and I completely agree. I have not given up on this team. And I know that you out there, even if you're a Packer fan who's down on the team, who really thinks that we're just not going to be able to do it right now, one thing I refuse to do, and I have seen this comment from some people, I have seen, you can guess that maybe we're going to go 8-8. You're going to say, like earlier, we'll be lucky to go 8-8. You know, that's a product of feeling down about what's going on and looking at the way the Packers are playing. Okay, I understand that. One thing you will not find me doing, though, is I will never, ever, and I heard this comment, somebody saying we might as well throw the rest of the games and play for a draft pick. So right now, give me an angry face if you refuse to give up. If your mindset is the mindset of a champion, it doesn't matter. Yes, we've played some poor games. There are games we should have won, but give me an angry face right now if you refuse to freaking give up. Because the Packers are fielding a team that can win. And I refuse to play for a draft pick ever. I refuse to support playing for a draft pick ever. Under any circumstances. This is the Green Bay Packers. This is the team that has 13 world championships. This is the team that has gone to the playoffs by hook and by crook for 7 years. This is the team that won the Super Bowl with like 13 or 16 players on IR, lost Charles Woodson, Sam Shields, Donald Driver. We refuse to give up. That is one thing that Packer Nation will never, ever do as fans. We will never give up. Kathy says, angry face. Mike says, Winnipeg is here. All right. Good to see you guys, eh? And DM says, hell yes, I want 12-4. Now, it may or may not happen, but we refuse to give up. Angry face if you refuse to give up right now. And it's a good day for angry faces for some people. I know some of you guys out there this Wednesday morning, it's been a tough Wednesday morning. I got on early and I told Facebook, just don't ask me what I'm thinking. And then we got into a little, serious conversation. I just didn't want to talk about it because it gets too crazy. But let me tell you one thing, and I've said in the past, if you guys, my name's Brady Augustine, you can find me real easy on Facebook. If you want to friend request me personally, that is just fine. I get a lot of them, so if I miss yours or I don't confirm it, it's not because I'm blowing you off. I don't always know. If you have a Packer thing on your profile picture, that always helps. However, if you want to go to my Facebook page, if you need some catharsis right now, if you need some deep emotional healing, one thing I promise you is listen to the Dropkick Murphys, Going Out in Style. I posted it on Facebook. Some of you know Dropkick. I posted Going Out in Style because win or lose, you are going to feel better after you listen to that song. And so I posted it. If you want to listen to it, you can either friend me or go to my Facebook profile page. Jared says, I'd put up my angry face, but it might frighten people. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for your consciousness in that. Very important. We appreciate it. All right. DM says, it's been a rough first 8 games, bro. Oh, I totally agree, right? That's part of the reason that, we had an election that's kind of, I think all the emotion is kind of just, I think it's settled in after the results were in, and I think we'll start feeling better, guys. And this Packer team, if they can make a turnaround, they can remember how positive we were going into the Colts game. We did not expect the team to play as poorly as they did because we understood the personnel we were putting out on the field. We knew we had the guys to do it. But we'll go out there on Sunday, and guys, I'm telling you right now, I promise, Virginia, if you're out there, she got on my Facebook page. We had a little banter back and forth, and she just said, basically, I'm sad about what happened. And I'm sad partly because the Packers have been playing bad too. So I got on, and in true form, I promised her basically a Packers Super Bowl. Okay, so I said, listen, it's all going to be okay. Packers are going to bring a Super Bowl home for you and make it all better. So if anybody's got a heart out for me for the Packers bringing a Super Bowl home, right now that's a tough one to make. But I am just going to say it because we need it right now. We need it. Packers need to bring this home for me. Just make me look good, boys. Get on the field. Play some football. Make me look good. I need it bad too. It's been a rough week for Packer Nation. But this is, every week we're not out of it, and every week gives us a chance to turn it around. I believe that this week we will. Again, you can't help but be in a wait-and-see approach. We were that way early in the season. We've seen this team just kind of go back and forth. It's kind of an up-and-down team. This is a feast or famine kind of team. One thing I have yet to see certainly is that we can go out and have a marquee win against a very good football team. That is one consistent thing across the board. I have said that the only consistent thing on this team is their inconsistency. That to me points to a coaching staff problem to some extent. But at the same time, these players, I call upon the players to get out on the field and shape up. Start playing good football. Cut with the mistakes, the stupid mental errors. When you give up lanes on the opening kickoff, not only give up a lane, but take out your own guy. I don't blame that on Clinton Dix. At least he had somebody blocking him, for crying out loud. The rest was completely unblocked and untouched. So let's see. I've lived through 16 Packer coaches, seen them go up and down. Will always be a Packer backer, but I have to remind myself it's only entertainment. Ilame Thomas, if I'm reading that name right. Thank you for that comment. That's a great comment. It is only entertainment. It's hard. We get so wrapped up in the Packers. And part of it is because we love these guys so much. And the reason we love them, I think, in a better sense than a lot of other fans. There's a lot of other teams in the league. There's 31 other teams. But our team gets closer to us than a lot of other teams do. A lot of us have interacted with players, coaches. I have a hat, a baby hat, with Mike Sherman's signature on it that he wrote on my little baby bench when he was in a car seat long ago at training camp. This Packer team and this Packer franchise is closer to its people than a lot of other teams. That's why we love them so much. But we do have to remind ourselves that sink or swim, It's just entertainment. So yeah, this is a sport. Let's see, what else we got? We got some good comments coming across. I don't want to miss all of these. I was born a Packer and thinking about getting buried in those great colors. Well, I salute you. Yes, good comment. Todd is on here saying, go Bears. All right. Some of us were kind of saying the same thing when you guys played the Vikings, but we won't say the same thing when you guys play us next. So Carrick characterizes the team as a hot mess. So it's definitely an interesting time in Packer Nation. I think we'll all settle down a little bit if the Packers go into the Titans Stadium and get a big win. I was there when the Packers in the preseason game with my son, they lost to the Titans. Of course, that was a preseason game, didn't mean anything. And the Titans now are kind of on an upward swing. Marcus Mariota with a bad interception that I think cost them the game against the Chargers, if I'm remembering right, gave the Chargers, just basically took the game away from them. However, he is a young, good quarterback that we're going to have to watch out for. So we'll do more on that starting tomorrow, and I will be back tomorrow, same pack time, same pack place. For now, I'm going to wrap it up. Let's see. I've got Wayne says, I am always a Packer fan from South Carolina. Good to see you, Wayne, and great comment. I agree, and we are with you. James says NFC North is a mess this year, so that gives us an opportunity, of course. Carayo, I hope I'm saying that right, says Rodgers called out the team, so watch the turnaround. We will see how it shakes up. Jared is out. We will see you again. Enjoy your Thursday, and we will talk to the rest of you guys tomorrow. Same pack time, same pack place. Have a good one. Get the ring.